Whether they wanted to be famous or it happened by
what is this,
accident,
chat? Is it a new
these
video?
viral stars went from regular people to having millions of followers overnight. However, the quicker the rise, the sharper the fall. And today we are going to discuss how these people used their 15 minutes of fame and how nearly all of them ended in disaster. Starting with the backpack kid, who is a perfect example of making all of the wrong decisions during a brief stint in popularity. Before TikTok became the go-to app to share mediocre dance moves to a global audience, 16-year-old Russell Horning was bored, uploading dance videos to Instagram with zero expectations. Initially, his signature dance style was funny. His core was stiff, his lanky arms just kind of flailed around while he stared emotionless into the camera. Additionally, he often wore goofy outfits and chose to dance to silly songs. Russell was extremely recognizable after watching just one video, which led to him gaining a small following on IG, but his entire life changed when Rihanna posted one of his videos to her 54 million followers. She tagged Russell in a post celebrating her Grammy nominations, and he gained over 40,000 followers in one day. To capitalize on the momentum, Russell pumped out as many dance videos as he could, skyrocketing him up to over 500,000 followers. There was one particular dance, called the floss, that seemed to get him the most views, with many people falsely crediting him as the inventor of the move. However, his videos were not getting shared because he was an excellent dancer, but rather because he was a meme. Whenever he did collaborate with other dancers, he was often seen as the weakest one. Despite this, opportunities were being thrown his way because of his follower count, like when Katy Perry personally requested that he dance for her Saturday Night Live performance in May of 2017. Russell absolutely stole the show, flossing aggressively while staring deadpan into the souls of millions of live viewers. He also strategically chose to wear a backpack, rebranding himself as the Backpack Kid. The SNL appearance gained him millions of followers, and the floss became a global dance craze. The Backpack Kid was an internet sensation, but he made a few key mistakes that ultimately led to his downfall. Firstly, Russell took every interview and press opportunity he could get. Viral stars will get thousands of dollars thrown at them just to do collaborations with media outlets, podcasters, or live entertainment companies.
So how's that bad though?
You were just getting paid to go show up at parties and shit like that?
Yeah, clubs and parties and festivals and performances and stuff.
So you just pop out on stage, you do the dance, everybody goes crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it goes?
Yeah.
That's tight. How much can you get to go to a club, if you don't mind letting us know?
How does that mean? Explain how that's me. Explain how that's me though.
That manager shakes his head no.
Manager shakes his head no.
Is it an amount that you're pretty impressed by? Like, are you surprised that you're able to get that much money just to go somewhere?
Compared to most 17-year-olds, the money that I make from just one appearance, it could take a 17-year-old forever to make that much money.
It's hard to blame someone for making easy money. Then again, the overexposure bothers people because they perceive Russell as a one-trick pony who doesn't deserve thousands of dollars or recognition from these big platforms. Remember before the internet when you actually had to do something to get famous? But then reasonable criticism turned into straight up hatred. He looks like one of those inflatable aliens you win at an amusement park. This kid man-child thing scares me. Since he became famous for literally one
This is actually incorrect then. It's actually kind of incorrect then. Like, it doesn't even make sense either. Because it was even worse with the, like, I'm sure it was worse with like nepotism or whatever, people that didn't deserve to be in the spotlight that would be getting thrown into it, right? And nobody would get into it. Nobody would like slip in as a thing, as like an infiltrator, like on the internet. Like if people
he had to branch out and try to find.
If somebody gets somewhere because of people, he deserves to be there. That's how you earn it. How did he not earn it? As somebody who was at nothing and went somewhere because his videos made it somewhere. How does it not deserve the? That's literally the definition of earning it.
Other ways to entertain his audience, so he decided to pursue music, releasing one of the worst songs of all time, Flossin'.
I be flossing. I be flossing. I be flossing.
Chat, is this?
Although Russell claimed that he was passionate about music, his songs felt like someone who was barely trying or maybe even just joking, rather than a serious artistic endeavor. Virality made Russell feel pressured to just keep doing what is paying the bills, so he resorted back to his one dance move, which ultimately led to a situation where he tried to perform on a stage
Who was that? Hold on.
to his one dance move, which ultimately led to a situation where he tried to perform on a stage that he was not wanted on.
I thought it was BBM as well. Bro, I thought it was BBM, bro. I thought it was BBM.
Whether it be main character syndrome or just a simple misunderstanding, his dance move lost all of its appeal, and doing it made him seem like he was desperately hanging on to his viral moment, which was made 10 times worse when he filed a lawsuit against Fortnite for putting the dance in their game.
It was really my mom and my management that did the lawsuit. I'm kind of just a kid having fun in life. I'm just letting the adults do all the busy work. I don't really know the law like that, so I can't really say if they're like taking advantage of me or anything like that. But like from a mom standpoint, like a manager standpoint, they think that they're taking advantage of me.
A couple days after the lawsuit was filed, videos dating as far back as 2011 were resurfaced showing people who were doing the dance long before the Backpack Kid. Simply put, he did not own the dance, and many viewed it as one final attempt to cash in on his fading relevance. Unsurprisingly, Russell and his team voluntarily dismissed their lawsuit shortly after. The Backpack Kid's 15 minutes of fame were officially over, and despite being hated by the masses and
Shay, he kind of looks like a prisoner. Well, hey, no disrespect, but just the way that he's taking these videos,
falling off to the point where he receives less than 1,000 views per video, these days, Russell actually seems happier than when he was at his peak. He is pursuing music more seriously and remains dedicated to pushing out a positive message to the world.
But as I got older, I started having a more mature mindset on money. I realized that it's important to choose good decisions on how to spend your money. I was just invited to do an anti-vaping commercial for the American Lung Association. And of course my first thoughts were, oh yeah, cause I don't vape, I don't smoke, I definitely don't encourage it.
Then again, he openly accepted the opportunity to be on Kai Cenat's stream where he was absolutely embarrassed by Drewski.
That's the whole point though.
Sure, this was just a skit, but Russell was the butt of the joke once again. Becoming a viral star at age 16 is definitely difficult to manage. Maybe he was just young and misguided. However, the same justification cannot be made for...
Guys, you guys say it's cringe or took it too far. I gotta be honest with you, Jen. If you get invited to a skit and the whole point is that you're gonna be rejected, okay? Can't really get mad on how you're gonna be rejected, okay? You know the parameters of the skit, probably. I'm thinking an educated guess, okay? It is what it is. It's gonna be a short end of the stick joke type shit. Just it is. I mean,
Salt Bae, who is a grown man that should have known better than to be acting like a fool. In 2017, a video of Turkish chef Nusret Göçe went viral of him dramatically slicing steak, then sprinkling salt from his fingertips down his forearm and onto the meat. What made this so ridiculous was his dedication to making salt sprinkling look like some sort of fancy artistic technique. Combine that with his handsome Johnny Depp resemblance, and the internet gave him the nickname Salt Bae. Salt Bae didn't just embrace the meme, he became it. He continued posting obnoxious videos of him caressing raw meat, dancing with raw meat, and of course his signature salting. He was shouted out by celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio, Drake, and even cooked for the King of Jordan. The internet fame didn't just gain him followers, it launched his career as a global restaurant owner. He launched and expanded his Nusret Steakhouse empire to over 20 locations worldwide, racking up tens of millions of dollars in revenue. However, with more exposure comes more criticism. Many began to wonder if he was actually this mystical, passionate culinary artist, or just another guy trying to cash in on some fame. One major critique was the outrageous prices at his restaurants that had patrons feeling more scammed than served. Take the Salt Bae Golden Experience, for example, where Salt Bae will personally serve you your food with a show. A single tomahawk steak costs nearly $1,000, and a burger will set you back almost $200. Now the prices are so high because the food is covered in edible gold,
Yeah, but why are people eating gold though?
which sounds fancy until you find out that the gold is worth a measly $10. Then again, rich people blowing insane amounts of money on dumb things isn't exactly shocking. If anything, it fits his brand perfectly. This is the guy who made something as simple as sprinkling salt look like Michelangelo chiseling the final details onto David.
What does that
However, the real
Explain that to me though. Explain that to me though. Explain though.
reason people turned on Salt Bae was much more embarrassing than a $200 burger. At the 2022 World Cup, after Argentina defeated France, Salt Bae somehow ended up on the pitch celebrating the victory with the team. How did he even get there? Cameras caught him pulling on Messi's arm.
That's a piece of history right there. That is a first edition print sheet. That's a relic of time. That is literally a moment in time that everybody partook in as the beginning root to all things.
Practically forcing him into a handshake. Messi, the greatest football player of all time, clearly was just wanting to move forward, but Salt Bae would not let go. Messi finally gave in and shook his hand just to get it over with, but Salt Bae held on tight and pulled him into a photo. You can see it all over Messi's face that he had no idea who this guy was or why he was even there. It was clear Salt Bae was trying to steal this big moment for himself, but it gets worse. He grabbed the World Cup trophy like he won the damn thing and even did his signature salt sprinkling move over it. As if that wasn't cringy enough, he was posing for pictures with players with their medal in his mouth. These players dreamed and worked their whole lives for this once-in-a-lifetime moment, only for some clout chaser to steal some publicity to promote his overpriced steaks. He responded to the backlash with an apology, claiming he didn't step on the pitch for advertising reasons, but the damage was already done, and Salt Bae's 15 minutes of fame were over. Salt Bae has shut down multiple restaurants after the hype has died down. Many of his remaining locations are drowning in poor reviews, and his London restaurant is down 4.3 million euros as customers have realized his food is way overpriced. Salt Bae has resorted to selling his high-end food online now. In May of last year, people started to notice that his steakhouse was listed on Deliveroo and Uber Eats, selling his Salt Bae tomahawk for $500 and a strip loin for almost $900, proving he really hasn't learned from his critics. Then again, there are plenty of rich people out there willing to waste money on overpriced food just because they can, and his virality and social media following alone will easily keep him in business for the rest of his life. But if you think Salt Bae was making a fool of himself, it doesn't even remotely compare to the Island Boys, whose fall off is...
Stop saying you to everything. Brother, you this. Dude, I can't be everything on every video. I can't be. Stop saying fucking you. Stop saying, otherwise, dude. Okay. Well, when I watch the video, this man is actually just homeless. You. This man is a loser. You. This man is a clown. You. Like, holy
is
shit.
much more disgusting than you could ever imagine. The Island Boys are a duo made up of twin brothers Alex Fly Soldier and Frankie Kodiak Red, two aspiring Florida men covered in face tattoos who blew up overnight in 2021 after they posted a TikTok video of them freestyling in a hot tub.
Oh, I'm an island boy. I'm just island boy. I'm just island boy. I'ma get Kiwi guy.
People couldn't decide if the tune was the worst thing they'd ever heard or low-key kind of a banger.
I'm an island boy. What is happening?
I don't know and ain't trying to understand it.
Plus, hip-hop has a history for blowing up artists who ride the paper-thin line between trash and fire. Rapper Kodak Black even offered them a record deal after their viral...
Okay. Blueface shit's kind of fire, though. Hold on. Hey, people can hate all they want. He had some fire beats. He had some fire songs. Real shit.
video, which is insane because this wasn't even a real song yet, just two goofballs mumbling in a hot tub. They turned down the deal, claiming that they wanted to stay independent, but this was a huge mistake. They believed they could make it on their own talent, but if we're being honest, most of their fame came from people clowning them. I played this song at my sister's funeral. She got out of the casket to shut it off. Thank you, Island Boys. This is the 0.01% of germs that bleach can't kill. When they decided to finally cut the record over a beat and released it with a music video, it was somehow worse. This the type of hidden talent that should absolutely remain hidden. Like many other viral stars, they were paid to do appearances at clubs, which became a prime example of when social media meets reality. At Miami's Club Live, the audience began booing the Island Boys on stage. Once music fans realized the Island Boys had no capability of making a somewhat decent song, there was really no reason to pay attention to them, and their
Hold on. This song's not bad. Nah, not this one. Chat, the other one. I like the other one where, it's not, this one.
I ain't praying.
This is pathetic. Chat. No. This is not hard. What? Okay.
15 minutes of fame was about to be up. The boys needed a new way to profit from their fame, so they began selling personalized videos to fans on camera.
One of them niggas when I kill them called the reverend. Cause no weapon formed against me shall prosper, yeah. Waiting on them boys outside.
Cameo, which apparently was very lucrative according to their previous manager.
They owe me about like $150,000.
From what? Your percentage of the Cameo money?
Yeah.
Is that the only money they're bringing in?
Mostly, maybe a little bit on TikTok, but I mean it's pretty much run dry at this point.
Right. How many cameos are they doing?
When I was with them, they was coming in hot.
They were viral.
Like it was going like 2-3 hours a night straight cameos.
But with them spending all of their money on designer clothes, jewelry, cars, and mansions, they needed to keep going viral to maintain this lifestyle. Jewelry, cars, and mansions.
Is that a mansion?
They needed to keep going viral to maintain this lifestyle, which almost always resulted in them making absolute fools of themselves on the internet.
Yeah, she likes the way you look. She thinks you looks good.
They also might have needed some money to hire security because the gangster persona was not convincing enough. In what could only be called an unhinged move, and in hindsight, the final nail in their career's coffin, the Island Boys launched a Fansly, which is basically just an OF. And it wasn't just embarrassing, it was downright sickening. In 2023, the Island Boys posted a video of them kissing.
Hey! Yo! Dude, yo, listen, xQc, you can't put that on the screen, man. Brother, you can't put that on the screen, man.
It outright incest, which it is. The twins insisted it wasn't sexual and was only meant to get a reaction, claiming that they just wanted to see how effed up this world is. And it turns out they were right about this world, because after their kissing stunt, it was reported that the Island Boys made almost $400,000 in 3 months just on their NSFW content, temporarily funding their lavish lifestyle. But of course, this resulted in more public humiliation.
What's going on with the shit that's with you two kissing each other and shit?
Bro, shut your ass up before I break this.
Dude, hey, yo, that ass.
Okay, who's doing the trumpets in the back? Who's doing that?
Bro, shut your ass up before I break this.
Dude, hey, yo, that ass. I would love to see you try that.
Bro, what are you talking about?
I would love to see you try that.
What the fuck is going on here?
Bro, what? Bro, what? Oh my god!
The desperate attempts to remain in the spotlight, combined with a severe lack of talent and expensive lifestyle, has led to incredibly lows for the Island Boys. Kodiak Red was arrested.
That was that comfy. What the fuck?
Bro, what? Bro, what?
The desperate attempts to remain in the spotlight, combined with a severe lack of talent and expensive lifestyle, has led to incredibly lows for the Island Boys. Kodiak Red was arrested for drug possession and an illegal firearm during a traffic stop. During the stop, a plastic bag containing white pills was found on the passenger side floorboard in plain view. The pills were identified as oxycodone. A further search of the vehicle uncovered a brown handbag containing a handgun with its serial numbers removed, along with a cut straw with a white powdery substance.
Oh, that's no good,
These
pal.
days, they pretty much spend all of their time promoting their NSFW content, and trust me when I say they went much further than just kissing each other. And if we're being honest, this will likely remain a consistent income stream for them, as there are definitely still a ton of people out there that are willing to pay to see this type of degeneracy. But unlike the Island Boys, sometimes we actually find ourselves rooting for a viral star. We hope that they become successful after their 15 minutes are up, like the case of Mason Ramsey, who became a breakout star when a video went viral of him yodeling in the middle of Walmart in Harrisburg, Illinois. The clip racked up tens of millions of views in just a few days, turning the 11-year-old Mason into a worldwide meme. Not only is yodeling kind of objectively hilarious, but a child singing a song that was 70 years old was oddly charming. Because of his viral performance, the original song, Hank Williams' Lovesick Blues, skyrocketed all the way to the 3rd spot on Spotify's Viral 50 chart. Within weeks, Ramsey was sitting across from Ellen DeGeneres, who got him invited to perform at the legendary Grand Ole Opry. From there, he was embraced by thousands of fans while performing at Coachella. Major record labels noticed his potential, and eventually Mason would secure a deal with Atlantic Records and Big Loud. The minute Mason and his family walked into Big Loud, I knew we had to work with him. He is a star, but most importantly, he is a down-to-earth kid who loves country music. The Ramseys are an amazing family from a small southern Illinois town just like me. We understood them and their goals, and simply fell in love with their story and vision. Proving that he wasn't just a meme, his debut single, Famous, secured the number 4 spot on the Billboard Hot Country Songs and peaked at number 62 on the Hot 100. But viral memes naturally have an expiration date, and soon Mason Ramsey's 15 minutes of fame were over. When the pandemic hit, it forced Mason to take a step back. However, he used his time away from the spotlight as best as someone could in his position. While his voice was maturing, he focused on refining his talent, writing music, and finding his own sound beyond the yodeling kid in Walmart that made him famous. Mason released 3 EPs that gained over 500 million streams combined and secured hundreds of millions of views on his music videos. By 2024, at 17 years old, he decided it was time to take the next step in his career and release a full-length album titled I'll See You in My Dreams. A song featured on the project called Blue All Over caught a lot of attention through TikTok for its classic old country appeal, and I can confirm it is a beautiful song. Now in 2025, Mason Ramsey recently announced his first major headlining tour that has 15 stops. Mason's rise to fame started almost exactly the same as everyone else in this video, but instead of trying to chase more fleeting viral moments or make some quick cash, he honed in on his craft, worked hard, and simply gave the people exactly what they wanted.
Pretty cool, I like
talent and entertainment. This was one of the few times social media made the right person famous. The only viral kid that didn't switch up after the fame. So while Mason worked hard and focused on genuine entertainment, Bobby Althoff seemed...
I kind of realized that he's getting a little bit like me then. Chat, I'm trying to see some... Chat. Right?
to ignore both of those things, as many people are genuinely confused how someone who has done so little has achieved so much success. Bobby Althoff started as a mommy TikToker after the pandemic, posting about her pregnancy, marriage, and family dynamics. After posting thousands of videos over a couple of years, she had built up a respectable 3 million followers. However, TikTok wasn't paying the bills, and her marriage wasn't doing too well, so the wholesome family content was about to come to a screeching halt. Alt. She said, I saw this video of a girl talking about how much she made from her podcast, and I think I mentally decided that she made at least $300,000 a year on her podcast alone. And I was like, that's what I need to do next. I need a podcast. Her large following helped her land her first celebrity guest, Rick Glassman, who is a comedian and actor. And in the first podcast, fans got to see Bobby in a totally new light. She was seemingly a socially awkward valley girl, giving off the vibe that she didn't even want to host her own podcast.
The way your eyes are looking, it seems like you're not listening.
I'm listening.
Do you care?
No, I do care. It's just really bad when you sing.
I'm not a singer. I'm just trying to get the story across to you.
Thank you. I hear it. I got it.
In her second podcast, she hosted comedian Funny Marco, who had great comedic chemistry with Bobby. Funny Marco's comedy style often makes others feel uncomfortable and awkward, so the two were essentially battling it out in an interesting back and forth.
So like, who are you? Like, where'd you?
Who am I?
Yeah.
Is that a serious question? I have more followers than you on TikTok.
Marco's humor combined with Bobby's dryness and innocent personality makes the...
she wait, hold on. She's kind of like, well, now think about it. She's kind of like female Mizkif a little bit. That's kind of how it used to be. That's exactly what he used to do back in the days.
Marco's humor combined with Bobby's dryness and innocent personality makes this so hilarious. Highly entertaining. The episode quickly earned nearly 1 million views, and clips of it made the rounds on social media. The mini virality caught the attention of Drake, who followed Bobby on Instagram. I DM'd Drake and asked if he wanted to be on my podcast, and he said yes. He sent me his touring schedule, and I knew that I needed to make it happen fast. So my friend and I flew to Memphis 2 days after the original DM was sent to record the episode. Her podcast with Drake earned 1 million views in the first 24 hours and introduced her to a massive mainstream audience. Drake rarely does interviews, so this one, alongside some random girl while laying in his bed, made people extremely curious.
Am I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, like, you know.
I flew all the way here.
You did. I really do appreciate
on my daughter's
that.
first birthday.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
You missed your daughter's first birthday for
To
this?
be here.
Dark. Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
Chat.
Where's your...
Chat, I would do It's Crazy by itself. But she said, am I your type as a point blank? Like, you can't... The answer... As a point blank question like that, you're gonna get a crazy answer. I mean, I'm confused. In a humorous setting?
Your son.
Somewhere safe, and it's not his birthday.
When's his birthday?
What does it matter? It ain't today, honey.
Don't call me
Chat.
honey.
Clips of...
Chat, if you're like 16 and you're dating, am I your type that is a 16-year-old when you're grown up? Yeah, it might be kind of flirtatious or whatever, right? When you're like a grown-up adult, you say, am I your type? It's a whole different vibe. Like, how do you not understand this? Like, how do you not understand this?
Of their awkward interactions flooded TikTok, and overnight, Bobby Althoff became a household name on social media. After the Drake episode, securing high-profile guests became easy. She had on Lil Yachty, Tyga, and even Mark Cuban. Her style of bored, sarcastic humor became her signature, and people seemed to love it. But just 3 weeks after the Drake interview was posted, which now had over 10 million views, it was mysteriously deleted from her page, and he unfollowed her on Instagram, sparking a ton of speculation. While fans were trying to figure out what happened, people were reminded that Bobby skipped her daughter's first birthday to interview Drake, which didn't seem to sit right with people, especially because Bobby used to be a mom-focused TikToker. When Drake calls you a horrible parent, you know you effed up. Rumors also spread that Bobby slept with...
Wrong. People always forget, okay, the business side of things just flat out, okay? She treats her brand and treats her endeavors like a business, but when she does her social media, they treat her like a person. Okay, well, you cannot really have it both ways. People want to have it both ways, but the reality is that this is probably the best business move that you could do. If a mom had to go to a conference, okay, for her, I don't know, pharmaceutical company job, okay, and she had to go 3 days in some fucking country for some conference, nobody will blink an eye. But she gets an opportunity that's like literally a 1 in a bazillion to further her career, 20x for the family, and it's being a horrible parent. You're a fucking bum. You're a loser. You're going nowhere. You got no goals. You have no income, and you don't know what it's like. You're a loser. Suck it.
Drake calls you a horrible parent, you know you effed up. Rumors also spread that Bobby slept with Drake and divorced her husband just to do the interview, which she vehemently denied. But it is true that she divorced her husband, but the reason her and Drake's relationship soured was never revealed. So many people came to the conclusion that she was nothing more than an industry plant, basically meaning that she didn't organically earn her virality, but rather she was handpicked by people behind the scenes and artificially pushed into the spotlight, using Drake's fame as the catalyst. The main piece of evidence for this theory was that she signed to the WME Talent Agency, one of the biggest talent agencies in the United States, representing a ton of Hollywood figures, including Drake.
Well, you got a great agent, and you got a great agency, and you got great guests.
Regardless if the rumors were true or not, it gave even more of a reason to dislike Bobby, and her
Yo, why was that me? Explain how that's me. I don't get it. Who? Why? Where did you guys say you to what? You to what? To what? To what? To plant? How am I a plant? Yo. Okay, I'm about to tweak out today. Okay. Yo. I didn't get planted in the industry. I planted the industry.
Her comedic style got old very quickly. Listening to her uninterested voice is like nails on a chalkboard. And while most of her interviews she is the one driving the conversation, there were frequent moments where celebrities got tired of her shtick mid-conversation and turned the tables on her.
Damn, I'm trying to get you to play. You lost in the sauce. You ain't shaking my hand. We finna get you to 25 million. You know what I'm saying? Just a little sprinkle.
Have a great day, Offset.
Just a little seasoning.
All right, you can leave now.
This is my hotel. I paid for this motherfucker. You can leave now.
All of her podcasts feel like small talk while waiting for something to actually happen. It's just simply boring. Ironically, her revealing that she was just playing a character actually became worse for her, because the little mystique she did have was now completely gone. In an interview on the Women on Top podcast, she explained why she embodies a satirical alter ego on social media, saying, "Being myself doesn't get views. I had to go where the money was." And her
Yeah, but the reality is that you can make an interview, right? And just make it entertaining for the interview. And when you find a moment where you can kind of do that skit, the skit can still stick though. You don't have to force it to where the main questioning part falls off entirely. Like if you draw people in with a good guess and good questions, you can keep them in with your personality and your skit or whatever. But when you reverse it and you make it the whole skit, it becomes hollow. I think that's pretty obvious though.
Her playing the character of someone who is bored and uninterested is just not a sustainable style for long-term success. Awkward and cringe humor can work, but in short clips, not hour-long podcasts. In response to the backlash, she tried to just be more herself, not trying to be so awkward, and even remove the dead air moments from the pod. But all that did was reveal that she is just a subpar podcast host who is only doing it for the money. Although her 15 minutes of fame are over, she will likely remain a lingering socialite as long as she is signed to a talent agency that can get her celebrity guests. And on TikTok is where you will still see her fan base praise her for putting in the least amount of effort possible. This story feels all too similar to the Tuah girl, with the main difference being that Bobby didn't outright scam the few people that actually...
When I started doing this shit, there was no money into it. Okay, hold on. When I started this racket, okay, there was no money to be made. Everybody was broke as dirt, brother. Okay? The top streamer, the top streamer was probably making $250 a day on ads and had 10K subs. The most highest streamer. 10K subs. Okay? Do the math. With all the fees and whatever, okay? With all the fees, top streamer. 10,000 times, it was about $3 a day, a sub. Probably less, but whatever. Times 12. Okay. $360,000 a year. Let's say plus ads, we'll say $400,000. $400,000 a year was the number one streamer. Number one. And you're gonna act like, bro, you are insane. Brother, that's number one. Number two probably made 200K, 150, 125, 100. And after 10 people, it probably went down to like less than 100K. Bro, like, you're insane. To go into this for the money would be crazy.
Actually supported her. Walking around drunk in Nashville at 2 a.m., Haley Welsh and her friend.
There was millions of streamers. Millions. All probably made less than $12,000 a year. Like, what?
And Chelsea approached a couple of guys and asked them what they were filming. YouTubers Tim and Dee told them that they do on-the-street interviews where they typically ask about relationships, male and female gender roles, as well as provocative and sometimes raunchy topics. Chelsea asked Dee to make it a spicy one, implying that he should ask a question that might be a little edgy.
Come on, you gotta get a spicy one.
You want a spicy one?
Yeah.
So he did just that, only Megan's friend Haley would jump in and give an answer that would drastically change her life.
You gotta answer this, you got it.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that huck to and spit on that thing, you get me?
It's so funny.
After having a silly interview, Chelsea and Haley confirmed that they wanted their video to be posted to social media.
You lie like
Tim and D what?
Like I was earlier.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tim and D TV.
All right.
You said we better post that?
Yes.
Okay.
Post it for real.
All right. She said we better post it. So don't come back trying to tell me, hey, take it down. I'm gonna sue you. This, that, the third.
Tim and Dee posted the video to their Instagram account, which had tens of thousands of followers, and the clip immediately went viral, securing 1 million views on the first day and over 5 million views on the second day. The post spread like wildfire, being shared across countless meme pages and pop culture news reporters. The comments read, "She's a national treasure. Keep this woman safe. I'm moving down south."
So they go make the interview is like rich and famous now, right? That's crazy, right? They got an interview. The guy who made this thing, Chad, this guy's like at the top right now, is he not?
I'm tired of these Northeast women. If she don't hawk Tuah, I don't want to talk Tuah. On the surface, Haley appeared to be the stereotypical Southern belle, sweet and charming, complemented by a thick accent. So her describing her raunchy bedroom tactics was a stark contrast. Within days, merch was being sold to capitalize on the viral traffic, but it wasn't until her first interview that we would find out more about the girl behind Hawk Tuah.
What do you do now? Because now you have management, now you have a team. What are your plans moving forward? Like, do you want to still be the hook to a girl, or do you want to, like...
I don't really want that to be like my image.
Yeah.
Like, hot to a girl. I don't see that being like my thing. You know? Yeah, I don't want to be known as that.
You made a drunk joke, and the next day you have whole management behind you. This world is crazy. Haley took the typical path of a viral star. She hired management, and they immediately got her as much press as possible, jumping on various podcasts to talk about her rise to fame. She got paid to show up at events and hung out backstage with celebrities. She was being amplified to unimaginable levels, with Rolling Stone calling her
Yo, how is that you? Why are you saying you? How is that you, brother? Brother, I have never done TV appearances ever. Are you stupido?
Charming Gen Z Dolly Parton, who's rightfully becoming America's sweetheart. Keep in mind that Dolly Parton is a generational talent who sold 100 million records in her career. Rolling Stone, of all publications, making that comparison just shows how they will say anything for clicks. And while many people thought that Haley would start an OF to cash in, she decided she wanted to use her fame for good.
Everybody in the comments is saying how I have 15 minutes of fame, and if that's the case, then I'm going to spend it doing something good. Today, we're taking all of this down to the local animal shelter and donate.
People were convinced they made the right person famous, but most viral stars struggle to earn a consistent income from their newfound fame. So in order to secure a sustainable revenue source, she launched the Talk Tuah podcast, and immediately the jokes came flooding in.
Hot to. Like an emphasis on like to.
Once the whole "I'm just a normal girl whose life changed overnight" story ran its course, she tried to keep viewers engaged by dropping hints that she had a secret lover that she called Pookie, but it just wasn't interesting enough to get people to watch.
Can we go back to what you said? You're dating somebody? Do people know this?
Well, I wouldn't say dating just yet.
Is this Pookie?
It's Pookie.
Shut the heck up.
That's my man.
No, it is.
That is my man.
Officially. What if Matt Rife came in and asked you to date him? Would he be your ex-man?
Oh, shit. You're putting me on the spot here.
I'm sorry.
I love you, Matt, but I'm about to kick your ass to the curb.
Her comment section was flooded with people sarcastically saying that the podcast was groundbreaking and changed their life. I'm convinced that the only reason why this podcast had decent viewership is because of the massive amount of jokes dedicated to making fun of watching the Talk Tuah podcast. But perhaps people were being a bit harsh on Haley. Sure, she may have been milking her 15 minutes of fame, but can you blame her? If people wanted to watch hours of her podcast and get to know her, then so be it. It's not like she was harming anyone, right? Wrong, because Haley would make a decision that would officially destroy her career. On December 4th, 2024, in collaboration with the Web3 platform Over Here Limited, Haley...
Guys, it's time for me to say chat finally. Guys, I lost the house on that. Guys, I lost the house. That's why I haven't gone back to Quebec, Canada, whatever. That house, it's gone, dude. I put it on this token.
Haley launched her own meme coin called Hawk. The coin was marketed as a revolutionary cryptocurrency project. Within 15 minutes of its launch, it hit a $490 million market cap, but then it crashed. It was revealed that 97% of the total supply was initially controlled by just 10 people, leaving only 3% for public buyers. A total of 285 investors took part in the pre-sale, but once trading opened, 30% of them immediately dumped their entire holdings, while another 23% offloaded a portion. This sell-off tanked the token's value by over 90%.
Okay.
While the sellers...
Okay, now explain how that's you. Now explain how that's you. Explain it. Now explain it.
Walked away with an estimated $3 million. After this, Haley posted a statement on Twitter insisting that the team never sold the tokens. Many accused her of rug pulling, which is basically a coordinated sell-off from a small group of investors to make profits while the public loses their entire investment. In short, this was not a revolution.
Guys, xCoin in GTA RP was literally the blueprint to all scammers because they were watching my stream at the time. Okay, nobody knew how to scam people on the internet like that. And then they watched my RP stream and then they just copied my blueprint. They copied it. They copied my flow and they put it in the real world, which I think is fucking weird as shit, by the way.
Cryptocurrency project. This was a way to make a quick buck off of her uneducated fans. YouTuber CoffeeZilla investigated and exposed the coin as a scam.
Who makes the money on the fees? Someone just made over $1 million on fees. Who made it?
First of all, the fees were there with Meteora pools, and that goes to, yes, the creator, right?
Which is who? Who is the project?
Well, the project is over here, Haley Welch, right? And
how much does Haley Welch own?
This is Haley Welch's project.
So she owns all of it. Did she just make $1 million on fees on a rug? Who made the money? How much did Haley Welch make of that million, 1.8 million?
It's a foundation.
Hey guys, I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Multiple lawsuits were filed against the entities behind Hawk, including Over Here Limited and the Tuah the Moon Foundation. These lawsuits alleged unlawful promotion and sale of unregistered securities. Welch received an upfront payment of $125,000 to promote the coin to her community, along with 50% of the net trading proceeds after the operating costs paid to the third parties. And she owned 10% of the entire Hawk supply, although she could not sell them for a year. Now, it is possible that Haley did not know what she was getting into, but ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law.
Isn't that kind of crazy, dude? That they sold on this scam and they locked her out of like rugging with them. Isn't that kind of crazy though?
15 minutes of fame are most definitely over, but since her meme coin, she has disappeared from social media, so we'll have to see what she does next. In a world filled with amazing talent, interesting and intelligent people who work hard for the attention of those that can make their dreams a reality, it seems like the wrong people are constantly achieving overnight success, and that's never going to change. So eventually, there will be a part 2 of this video.
So how's that me again? What the fuck? Yo, I literally can't put up my toenails for 5 seconds. He's always saying you, and I don't even know what the fuck he's saying to you too.